So, yeah, what would you like to find out, or what questions do you have?
I wanted to find out if it was as good as people say.
Okay.
I'm a little bit dubious.
Yeah, sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've had lots of people do it who've just gone mental about it.
Yeah.
Friends, as we were talking about, has gone to another country, is going to use it over there. Everybody I've met who's done it has just gone, oh my god, it's going to blow you away, it will help you personally, let alone anything else. So the same sort of things, it will help you personally first.
Yeah.
And it's like, really? Because I'm just not sure.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? I'm just not sure. But if it is what they're saying, then bring it on, because I'd really like that.
Yeah.
But I just don't know.
Yeah.
Enough.
Do you know what? No, and it's really tricky to get across in an hour and a half exactly what you're saying there, because we have people at the end of the programme saying, this has literally changed my life. And sometimes it's changed their lives in ways that they never expected. So for example, I'll give you a little one, which I was really glad that we had public liability insurance during the time that it was going on, because somebody came on the first block and they went through all of that stuff and they found it really, really interesting, they loved it. They went home, they came back on the second block and they said, yes, I've applied the NLP, I've left my wife. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, right, okay, stay calm. So I said, okay, I said, sure, let's have a little bit of chat. No, this is absolutely the right thing anyway. After the middle of this, the middle block, he then went away with some more skills and some more ideas, and then he came back on the third block and he said, actually we have had a long conversation, we resolved some of our issues, and now we are getting on so much better. And I'm like, oh no. But yeah, I know, it was just like a little bit like, oh my goodness. So, I mean, you know what, that was life-changing him. This guy was a sports coach. He was a sports coach. He came on the course for sports NLP. You're right, people choose to do things in different ways and change their life in different approaches, because it gets us to think about it. So the first thing you said was about helping me personally. And I think that is one of the things that NLP does, simply because how I teach it anyway, it's about saying, let's have a look at how we are consciously, then let's have a look at how we are unconsciously, because we don't see how we are unconsciously. Most of our communication, you know, sort of in the 90s, give or take 2 or 3%, is unconscious communication. So a lot of what we're doing, we don't realise that we are doing it. And the only way we can explore this is by doing tools, techniques, ways of thinking that brings that out. So we look at it and we go, right, what is actually going on here? So to a greater or lesser extent, you can do a bit of navel gazing. Some people choose not to look anywhere lower than sort of like mid-chest. That's fine, you know, just take what it is. Other people really have a good look, so it's almost like, you know, they've got into the colon and they're having a really, really good look. And then they apply the things and they work through things that's for them. It really just depends on how deep or not you want to go. I think though, you know, people come out of it at the end and go, as I did, this has challenged the way I think. This has challenged the way I do things, and I do things differently. And it's not throwing out the things that you do well now. It's saying, what do I do well now? And what doesn't really work for me? And how can I change the things that don't work for me and do something differently so that I get a better result? I mean, that's it in its kind of most simplistic form, for sure. Yeah. And so, you know, when we can come out of something, whether it be on a personal level, whether it be on a professional level, you know, we've had people go through the course who are in that sort of, I'm not really sure what I want to do. I kind of enjoy my job, but I don't feel like I'm being challenged. So it gives them a lot of different ways of thinking about it, different tools and techniques, new skills, new CPD to add to their toolbox, to add to their CVs, so that a lot of people will go off at the end of it and change jobs, change careers, do something differently, look for promotion that they might not have done before. I mean, you know what, I've always been quite a comfortable person talking to people, you know, and I was saying a little bit about what I did before. I can honestly say, hands on heart, God that before my NLP practitioner, if somebody had said to me, you will set up your own company and you will do what I'm doing now and looking to expand this the way we are now, I'd have called them something that I'm not going to say out loud, because I just would not have believed it. And I thought that I was always somebody that was quite confident anyway. What NLP did was to change that way of thinking so that I stepped outside of my comfort zone, stepped outside of my boundaries. And also a little bit, you know, I was talking earlier a little bit about this idea of the fixed and the growth mindset. I definitely had a fixed mindset in that I'm a psychologist. I know what I'm doing. I've got all of these qualifications. What can NLP teach me? And then I went in there and I went, bloody hell. It teach me a hell of a lot, and it did, about the practical things that I've just not got, you know. So yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm glad you've had other people other than me saying to you how good the course is, because otherwise, you know, it just sounds like a load of heat coming from here.
Can I ask what some of the practical things that you didn't have that you kind of developed through having done the NLP?
Yeah, well,
just one.
Well, things like, for example, managing my state. Yeah, so being able to manage my state in ways that I didn't realise some of the things that I was doing before it was pointed out to me and made obvious. And that's not necessarily to say become emotionless, it's not. It's about managing our emotions. So when we put that into maybe the context of sport, that's huge, because a lot of people will say in sport, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And then when you watch them, they're like, you know, a fireworks box that's just been lit and the whole thing's going up everywhere. And they go, what? I'm all right. Okay, well, you know, yes, you are all right. And your state isn't going maybe the way it is. So that was a huge thing for me. But it was also about beliefs and challenging some of the limiting beliefs that I held before about what was possible for me and what wasn't, and what you could do, and you know, what didn't happen. You know, so it's just two little things, managing my state, changing beliefs, you know, I mean, like, that was massive for me. And if you think about that from a sporting context, that is huge. That is huge.